And hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am Ruel Gaviola, and this is Tabletop Recall, my monthly gaming recap. And as y'all know, folks, we are going to be talking about a ton of games today. Be sure to join the Discord, which I'm going to drop the link in right now. Share your favorite games from the last month or so, and we'll talk about those later on in the second half of the show. But first things first, I'm super excited. I've got a very special guest with me today. Folks, you may know her from her channel, Dungeons and Dimples. Folks, this is Dungeons and Dimples. Hi, Dimples.
Hi! Thank you so much, Will, for having me. Hi, everybody.
I'm super excited. Folks, if you don't follow Dungeons and Dimples already, please do. I'm going to drop links in chat. You'll be able to follow her on her channel. And also in the Discord, I'll have links there as well. Heart-Shaped Sky, thank you for joining us. Good to see everyone here. Mark Street, hello. Good to see you, friend. I hope you're doing well. And Variant Hex is lurking. Dutch Yoda's in the house. Goblin, woohoo, and friends. We're going to have a great time today. We're going to be talking about board games that we've really been excited about. Our favorites from the month of June and perhaps before. I usually keep it really casual as far as like timeline goes. But basically, these are games that we've really enjoyed having our tabletop. But I'm going to stop yapping because I want to talk to Dungeons and Dimples a little more. Dimples, thanks again for joining me. How about for those that don't know you, do you want to just let's talk origin stories? What's going on with you and streaming and Twitch and everything else gaming related? I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So I've been streaming on Twitch since September 2023. I've always been into gaming. It used to be mainly video gaming, so I played a lot of Spyro growing up, then got into League of Legends, played Witcher 3, and probably about 8 years ago, I discovered.
Nice. Wow. Nice. Oh, I love that. Nice. So that's sort of like, yeah, I feel like that's just throwing you in the deep end. Like, here's your gateway game, Caverna.
Oh, yeah. I know when I look back on it now, I would never introduce
Right.
Caverna to a brand new board gamer. There's so much going on. I think if you've got enough players, it can take you 6 to
Yeah.
8 hours to play that game. And it's kind of going, yeah, it's fine. You've played Uno, you've played Monopoly, play this. It's great. But it's got so many amazing pieces with the teeny tiny wooden cows and the teeny tiny wooden pumpkins that it's a puzzle and a worker placement and you can't help but get
Yeah.
hooked.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad that they didn't scare you off of board games with Caverna.
Yeah.
You just decided, hey, I actually like this. That's great.
Could have gone one of two ways there, definitely.
Yeah. Now we do see in chat, of course, if it's not a live stream without video or audio issues. Some people are saying issues on Dimple's end, but we'll see. Okay, back now. Cool. No worries.
Yeah, I've tried turning it up a little bit. Does that help?
Yeah, that I hear it fine, but folks in chat, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, okay, back now. Thank you, Heart Shaped Box. Sound was dipping. Audio is fine. Thank you, D Walls. Perfect.
Thank you,
Awesome, awesome,
everyone.
folks. Yeah, so coming to Twitch, obviously during the pandemic, we all sort of, we had to stay at home, basically. But now that things have opened up a little more in the world, you're still streaming, which is great. And what really, what I love about your channel is your Discord community. So I'm one of those lurkers. I sort of like lurk around the different channels, but your Discord community and your, viewing audience are very welcoming and it's just such a really cool community. You want to talk a little bit about that and what are ways
Oh,
yeah
always.
what are ways that those of us who are in these things that do these streams, and what are ways to like build community and maintain such a really cool vibe?
I've been really lucky with the people that have come by to my stream, just happened upon it, and the relationships and the friendships that are built out of that. If you're a first time streamer and people come into your chat, it's always good to ask questions and to interact. Most of the people that you'll talk to will maybe not reply or will then drift off. But there'll be some people that will spark a conversation and you'll realize that you have shared hobbies, shared interests, or just shared in common. getting to know. It's nothing that I've done. I've just been very, very lucky.
no.
And it looks like they've lost me again,
Audio,
audio-wise.
folks.
This is
Yeah.
very good
Again,
stuff.
it's par for the course when we're live streaming. Okay, there it is, back again. Thank you, Dutch, for confirming.
I do have I do usually use a clip-on microphone, but I couldn't get the volume high enough, so I've switched back to the table mic, which I haven't used in a long time. So it's possible that we need to do a bit of a switcheroo back to what we were using.
Sure. If you do, you want to do that right now? We can do that.
Yeah, is that all right? I just want to give it a go.
Okay.
I'll just
take your time. I'm going to switch over to this. I'm going to talk to folks, and then when you're ready to go, we'll bring it back on. Okay. So, folks, Emma's going to be she's going to reset her mic and thing, and then she'll let me know audio wise when she's good to go. But friends, if you haven't already, please come on over and check out my new video. Just dropped this morning. This is for let me get the link. Where's my link? Let me go over here. There's a new video for Solar Gardens, which you can see right behind me, the box. This is a new game from Darrington Press. And Michelle and I played through it, and we have a teach and play available right now. I'm going to share the link in chat. And if you're watching the VOD later on, folks, there will be a link in the show description. Let me drop that into chat right now. Boom. Solar Gardens, really fun tile laying game. A little more on the entry level side or gateway side, but as we played through it, Michelle and I were, it's really simple as far as mechanics are concerned. You're just drafting tiles and placing them in your board, but there's a bunch of different things to score. So there's like 6 different items, and they're all spatially based. Well, most of them are. So one thing needs to be in certain columns, another has to be in certain rows, and then there are set collection type things. Really cool game. Plays in about 30-ish minutes or so it's on the lighter end, but we were really impressed by it. I personally like the drafting style in this. It's got a little bit of push your luck. So as you'll see in the video, Michelle and I, you put some tiles out, you draft them, and the person who's the active player at that time, they get a choice. They can either draft that tile, put it in their board, or they can pass it on to the next player. And the next player has an option, like, okay, they're going to take it or they're going to pass as well, but they can only pass once per round. So in the 2-player, you'll see in the video, I hope you check it out. The link again is in there. It is a really cool push your luck tile drafting, tile laying game. So be sure to check that out. Again, the link is in chat. Oh, speaking of chat, let me see if I've got this thing working. Goblin says, Taj Mahal, I played that recently. Was when, yeah. Taj Mahal, it's been almost exactly 1 year since I played. I got to play with Variant Hex last year at Gen Con. They taught it to me, and I've had it on my shelf forever. I love Knizia. If you're new to here, folks, I am a huge Knizia fan. Give me all the games from the good doctor. And, okay, let me check on Emma, Dungeon Dimples. How are we doing back there? Oh, that sounds better. Okay, let me... we're going to bring Dimples back on here. Okay, and then the real test is...
everybody.
Okay, can everyone hear Dimples? That's the main thing.
How does this sound now?
Okay.
We've got 3 different cables, so fingers crossed that solved the problem.
Yeah, okay. So far, I mean, it's coming through on my end. At least I see all of the things. And Dutch Yoda, yes, they say yes. Awesome. Goblin says yes. Awesome. Cool. Thank you for confirming that, friends in chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, so as I was saying, folks, be sure to check out the video Solar Gardens. That's the game right there. Just announced, they just launched it this morning, just like a couple of hours ago. And the video Michelle and I played through, check out our playthrough now on my channel, Solar Gardens. Yeah, okay, cool. Sounds the same, but hopefully won't drop out. Okay, yeah, as long as we're good to go. Yeah. Hey, Gamer Ass Guy, thanks for joining us. I just realized I should have... No, I don't have that. Let me see if I can grab... No, I don't. Okay, cool. Go over here. Hey, D-Nick says, hey, uh-oh, collab. Yeah, it's collab time. And as always, the audio and video are a little wonky, but we'll get through it. We're going to be fine. Before our last delay, thanks to audio issues, what were we talking about, Dimples? We're talking a little bit about community on Discord and so forth. But I'll let you pick up if you want to share a few more thoughts on community within Discord and Twitch and other social spheres.
Yeah. So another thing that I really enjoy doing with the Discord community is doing like a board game evening. So Board Game Arena is a fantastic tool. And if you are just tabletop board gamers out there and you haven't tried doing any form of online board gaming, Board Game Arena I would really recommend. The way they translate a physical board game into a digital one, they do it really, really well. And it's also a great way to learn complicated board games. But the
Yes.
best thing about it is you can play board games with people from around the world, and
Agreed. Wow, that's a great point. Board Game Arena
sharing
really
a hobby
has,
together.
especially through the pandemic, but until now, have really brought a lot of gamers literally to the digital table. And
Yeah.
I love it. In our community, we have a lot of Board Game Arena games going on. So, folks, again, I'm going to drop the link one more time in chat. If you haven't already, hang out with us in the Discord community over there. And we talk about games, non-games, and all kinds of good stuff. And we set up a lot of games on Board Game Arena. D-Nick says Board Game Arena is great and makes the workday go very fast. Yeah. So I'm not going to say, play at work, but if you play at work, that's fine too. I'm not going to suggest that. I don't want anyone getting in trouble on our behalf, but yeah, love Board Game Arena. Also, it's as you said, Dimples, I think it's a really great way to learn games, right? I've learned a lot of games there. Now, I'll confess there's a bunch of times where I'm just like clicking buttons and don't know what's going on, but I do think it's a great tool for learning some of the heavier, more complicated games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Feast for Odin is my best example of that.
Oh, yeah.
So I love Uwe Rosenberg games, hence coming from my Caverna background,
Right.
I was like, this is a game designer I like. And Feast for Odin is a huge game, just in terms of how many resources, how many puzzle pieces there are that you can use on your player area. And it's nice when you play on Board Game Arena because it controls all of those different spaces, all those different tokens. But I think there's like 13 admin steps in a Feast for Odin turn. And so it takes care of those admin phases for you as well, and makes what's quite a heavy, quite a spreading board game really manageable when you just want to play it solo as well.
Yeah, that's another point that I want to bring up, and I'm glad you did, is the solo aspect of gaming, right? I love that, especially on Board Game Arena. And any, like, now I do prefer, in-person, analog, real-life gaming, but when it comes to digital games, I love deck building games online because they do all the shuffling for me and all the, the card manipulation. I don't have to worry about that. So super excited to see any deck builder online like that. Yeah. Thank you, D-Nix, for just subscribing to Dungeons & Nipples on YouTube already on Twitch.
You.
Appreciate that. Anywhere else that we can support you, Dungeons & Nipples?
So only the three. So just Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. And so on Instagram, I put videos about games that I'm going to be playing, but also I try to make some little fun videos about board games as well.
Nice.
It's a really nice place to just be creative and just let your creative side come out, because I think with Twitch you get to talk to people and you get to teach games, which is one of my favorite things. But the creative side, that's a lot easier to do on Instagram. So I've been enjoying making videos there.
Yeah, it's great, folks. So again, follow Dungeons & Nipples on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. And with that all out of the way, why don't I'm hoping we've got all our issues out of the way, audio and video. If not, oh well, we're just gonna roll with it. What we're here to do today, folks, is recap our month of gamings. Again, I'm Ruel. This is Dungeons & Dimples, and we're gonna do this in a top 10 list sort of style. And we're gonna hopefully show y'all some new games or new to you games. And if not, we recorded this live, so let us know in chat what you think about this, or let us know what games you're playing as well. All right, so let's start things off with number 10, and let me go over here. And let me get this ready. I don't have it ready. Professionals would have this ready. Me, I'm just sort of jumping around trying to find stuff.
I think on the first stream I ever did, my microphone was muted for about half of it.
Exactly. So you totally understand. That's great. I love that. Okay. Hopefully our mics aren't muted. Let's get on with number 10. And I'm going to give it to our guest, Dungeons & Nipples. What do you have at our number 10?
So my number 10, my number 5 top choice for June for me was Frostpunk.
Frostpunk.
So this is a game published by Glass Cannon Unplugged, and is based on that kind of Frostpunk universe that you have, where you have a community, a civilization that are in this post-apocalyptic setting, trying to survive the perilous cold wasteland and trying to build a workable community so you can actually just all survive. It's really interesting because it's a cooperative worker placement, and you don't often have those two mechanics coming together. They use that worker placement element really well in this game because you have different types of workers. So depending on the action you want to do, depends which work you use. Tells you if your workers are going to end up being ill just by doing that
That's
action.
so interesting. That's when you put this on the list. I was really curious because I've heard a lot about Frostpunk. I have not played it yet, but just that the mesh of cooperative and worker placement. So that's what
Yeah.
really got me intrigued, because worker placement, a lot of times I think the first thing I think about worker placement is, oh, I'm going to place my worker here in order to block somebody. How does that work in Frostpunk? Are all spaces open to people, or you had mentioned different types of workers? How's that work in Frostpunk?
So you have a shared pool of workers.
Okay.
So you and the person you're playing with, you don't have a set each. So this picture here, that little pool of workers, the browns, the greens, and the blues, they're what you would play as one team in one turn. And in the rulebook, it kind of recommends that, you know, one person moves one meeple, the next person moves another. But when I've played it with just two people, it also works well that someone does one action. So say you're going to use 3 workers to go hunting and collect food, I might put all 3 of those workers out, and then the next person will do the next action.
Okay.
So that rather than slowing the game down with each individual meeple, it's more of a conversation that you have. You plan it together, and then you just pop the meeples down and see what happens.
Awesome. Can't wait to try it. This definitely looks like my jam. I'm not the biggest cooperative game fan, but I do love worker placement. I'd love to try this new type of worker placement, to me at least.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Amy and Maggie. You see them there on screen. Thanks for letting us use your video, which I didn't ask for at first. I just shared it. So thanks, Amy and Maggie, Thinker Themer. That was our number 10, Frostpunk. Thank you, Dungeons. Dimples, let me move on to number 8. This is a game that, it's an older game to me. Or actually, no, it's an older game. It's new to me. I had not played this game before until recently. I got a copy of it from Panasaurus Games. They sent it over, and I immediately fell in love with it. It has this really, why don't I just tell you what it is? It's our number 9, folks. It's Finca from Panasaurus Games. This game was out originally like almost 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, but they gave it a fresh coat of paint with this lovely Vincent Dutrait artwork, as you can see here in the video. I did a teach and play of it here. It's for 2 to 4 players, and what I love about this is it has a feel of like a classic Euro game. I can totally see this being like super beige and super, just cubes and stuff, but they've got all the lovely fruit and veggie meeples. Fruit and fish meeples, what they are. And what you're doing is going on the little Mancala there in the left corner. You're going around and around to pick up resources. And that's the coolest part of this game, is going to pick up those resources. As you can see there, you move your farmer, and depending on how many farmers are in one space, that's how many moves that you have. So if I have a farmer there's 2 other farmers, I can move 3 spaces. And then where I land, however many farmers are there, that's how many resources I get. So if I move 2 spaces and I land on, like right there, I landed on 1 fig, I just get 1 fig. But if there's another farmer there, I would get 2 figs. If there's 2 farmers, etc., etc. So what you're doing, you may ask, is what are you doing with all this stuff you're gathering? You are trying to fulfill orders to all the people on this Mediterranean island, and other different regions have their different orders, such as someone wants 2 almonds, one wants 3 fish, etc. So at any point, you can, instead of gathering resources, you can deliver, and that's when you go to the donkey card that you have there. You use a card in order to deliver. And anytime you go around the Mancala, you'll get a new donkey card. So you can't always just do it. You need to get one of those cards. And, it's a lovely game. It's so streamlined and it's so smooth playing. I've played it in all various counts, 2, 3, and 4. Loved it at each count. And it plays in about 45 minutes. So you get this really nice resource management experience in less than an hour. I'm all for it. I loved it. That's why it's our number 9, Finca.
That's quite rare getting a resource management experience in under an hour.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just, I think it was just the brilliance of the design, right? They could have had a few more things. I really see things where like they could have added just a little more here and there, but they didn't, and I love that about it. It's like, let's just keep it simple. Let's just,
Yeah.
give folks a way to, exchange cubes and stuff in a really fun and light manner. But it's still enough where it's like, okay, I'm satisfied playing this game. You know what I mean?
And they definitely know their audience as well, because the game designers are really starting to understand that if you provide a gamer with a set of lovely wooden meeples or wooden meeples or
Yep.
meeples or fruits and vegetables, they're like, absolutely.
That's so true, right? Yeah. Give me all the bits. Give me all the fun bits and everything. Yeah.
And then and all of the things that go with it.
Exactly. Nice. All right. So that's our number 9 of Fako, folks. And folks, we are recording this live on YouTube and Twitch. If you're watching the VOD later on, thank you so much for doing that. And shout out to everyone in chat who's hanging out with us, including Dino Corgi, Taha Nibras, and so forth. All right. Let's move on to number 8. We're going to bring it back to Dimples. And what do you have for us, Dimples?
So this is a game that I've played for many.
Nice. Yes. Yes.
Gamers into the hobby while still being interesting enough that seasoned gamers just can't stop. And that's because it's a push your luck game, which we all enjoy,
Yes.
especially when things like Flip 7 have been coming out recently. You can't beat a good push your luck game. And in Quacks of Quedlingberg, you're trying to collect different potion ingredients. You pop them into your bag, and then on your turn, you're drawing them out, moving your ingredients around your cauldron, and then trying to get as far around the cauldron as possible with the help of the types of ingredients you choose. So there's a bit of strategy thinking, oh, well, if I get lots of pumpkins and then I pick up a red tile, I might be able to push it a bit further forward because of the red tile's ability.
Oh, that charity. That always kills me. I always seem to, like everyone else, I'm sure it comes out the most inopportune moment, but yeah, that's just the game. I love Quacks. I'm so glad you put this on here. I haven't played in a while. It's a reminder like, hey, I need to play this again. But as you said, I love Flip 7 as well. I think that's one of the best, like, pure push your luck games of recent times.
It's so simple as well, but you just sit around the table going, but if I get 7, then I'm going to get loads of points. And then there's you or me sat there 4 rounds in with no points, and everybody else has almost 100. And that's because I'm just sat there going, but I'm not going to stop until I have 7.
Totally. Right?
Yeah. So it's why I don't own too many push your luck games, because I would constantly lose. But there is something about that adrenaline that you get when you think, actually, I can keep going. And with Quacks, there's so many different elements to it that combine together to push your counter further along, that you can really plan how your cauldron's going to look, and you can end up having a completely different bag worth of ingredients to the person sat next to you, and it makes for a really interesting game.
Yeah, that's such a great point, right? Just you have your little bag and you are going for the different ingredients and stuff. So it does feel, whereas like Flip 7, that's just pure push your luck. Everyone's doing this exact same thing, and we're still doing the same thing in Quacks, but we do have that sort of like custom, the custom things, that recipes that we're trying to complete. So yeah, again, a great choice, folks. By the way, that is Michael and Judy over there at the Nerd Shells. Thanks to them for letting us use their video. Be sure to follow them on the YouTubes and everything. And great call, number 8. I do love me my push your luck. And we're going to move to number 7, which is actually one of my favorite solo games of recent times. We talked a little bit about solo games earlier. This one is a game called Conservice. This is from 25th Century Games, who sent me a copy to check out. And in Conservice, it's a bag building game. We have a fleet of fishing boats, and we're going out to fish. Now, what's really neat about this is the game is broken up into rounds where you send out your boats to fish, you catch fish, and then you're going to try to sell them at market. But it's a sustainable fishing game. So you have to have this really neat balance of, yeah, you want to fish as much as you can to get as much fish, but there's a point where if you're overfishing, there's going to be no more fish in the ocean, because at each round, if you have fish in the ocean, they're going to multiply. If you don't have any fish in the at the end of the round, they don't multiply. So you're going to be sort of stuck, and hopefully you do a good job of managing, hey, I'm going to fish this amount, but I'm going to leave this amount in there in order to multiply. And I love, that's my favorite part of this game, Dimples, is the fact that, yeah, you can, it seems easier than it is. And I've lost this game like badly the first 3 times I played. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to play games. But then after a while, you start to see things, it's like, oh, I shouldn't be just fishing, as much as I can. I need to leave some still in the ocean in order for them to continually develop. And so I have a sustainable business. I did a playthrough here, folks. You can see the solo playthrough here, and it's a terrific solo game. It is a solo game, by the way. It's not multiplayer, but I guess any solo game you can sort of play cooperatively if you have a partner and they want to just sort of hang out and help you out. But what's really neat too, on the left side there, that upper book, the booklet, that's a book of 12 months, so you fish throughout the year. Each game is just 1 month, but each month has different challenges, so it changes up the rules just slightly, gives you new things to work on. And
Oh, that's really cool.
yeah, it's great. I love that. And one of my favorite designers, Scott Alms, he's done games like Tiny Epic Galaxies, actually all the Tiny Epics he's done, and other things as well, including some terrific solo games. And that's why it's in our number 7, Conservice. Dimples, do you have any experience with Scott Alms' games or solo games in general, board games?
Or solo games, absolutely. They are my speciality, I would say.
Nice.
But I did a little bit of research because we, behind the scenes, we do get to know a little bit ahead of.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And have between the ocean and the fishermen. And I think it's so nice that lots of games are coming out now that have got an environmental element, like an environmental spark of inspiration within them that's trying to make us more mindful as we play our games as well. Yeah. So I thought that was really impressive.
I'm glad you brought that up. It's such a really neat thing to see publishers, addressing certain issues in our world today, like sustainability. I love that. By the way, thanks to B. Travis for shouting out. Hey, B. Travis just bought Conservice today based on my review. Thanks, B. Travis. I hope you enjoy it. I think it's a lovely game, one of my favorites of recent times. But let's talk about some more games. Turn it back to Dimples for our collective number 6, which I believe is number 3 on your list.
It is. Oh, so this.
Yes.
So I was part of that collection, and we get together every few months to have a go. If you haven't played it before, but you've played things like Werewolf, Town of Salem is the game that I grew up playing that was similar to this, or maybe Among Us, that's been a more recent version of this game as well. It's social deduction. You have a hidden role. You have every morning you wake up, somebody may have perished unsuspectingly in the night. It's a tragedy. And you've got to go off and try and work out who are the demons and who are the innocent townsfolk that you really mustn't execute. It's such a fun way to spend a few hours. And there are some amazing characters in there. Have you ever played this game before, Ruel?
Yeah, so I actually just played it for the first time a few weeks ago, and
did you?
Yeah, so confession, social deduction is really not my jam, but I'm gonna say Blood on the Clock Tower was, how do I say, it was just such a fun experience. And even for someone that doesn't like social deduction, there's a lot of, like, I guess, board game elements to it, which I really appreciated. And just having the storyteller, right, that brings it a whole new thing to it. And what I think my favorite part is, even if you die in this game, you're still part of the game. You don't just sit out, right? And I think that's what I really enjoyed about it.
Oh yeah, your ghost vote, once you're no longer alive in the game, is so much more powerful because what you need to get somebody onto the chopping block is you have to have half votes for the number of live people left. Well, if you're using your ghost vote, you're not alive, you're not making that number bigger, so your token, your vote is worth so much more. So actually, as somebody who isn't actively playing, you're still actively playing, and I think that's amazing. And there are some really fun characters you might not have come across yet, Ruel. So have you heard of the Tinker yet?
I have heard of Tinker, yes.
Yeah, the tinker's great. So the tinker's when at any moment your tinkering might just go wrong, and the storyteller will come up and stand behind you every now and again and go, "No, you're okay." They'll come back, "No, you're okay." And then there'll be one time when they'll go, "Oh yeah, no, you blew up." And that's it. That's your power. At any moment you might blow up and you think, okay, so I need to get in there, have these conversations, because I'm not going to be here for the entire game, I don't think. I think that's one of my favorites. That the lunatic and the evil twin, I think, are just incredible roles.
Oh, the evil twin. Yes, yes.
Oh.
So again, I've only played it once, and it was such a really unique experience, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
By the way, we're watching the Good Time Society video that Becca Scott created. This was last year, and they just funded for a season of Blood on the Clock Tower. If you haven't watched it already, folks, please be sure to check this out on the Good Time Society channel. Again, I work with Becca over there, and I do a show called Good Morning Society with her, and Blood on the Clock Tower, I may have played with that crew, folks. So tune into that. Hang out at Good Time Society for more information. But yes, Blood on the Clock Tower, Dimples, it was so unique as far as social deduction games. I mean, the basics of it, right? You're going to be lying or covering up or whatever. But there's so many other elements to it that I really appreciated. As far as someone, if you were to pitch it to me as someone who doesn't like social deduction, or if you're trying to get someone to play this game that may not be in their wheelhouse, how would you explain it to them, or how would you get them to play it?
So I think what my experience is, everyone's really excited to try it, but most people are nervous to try it. Yeah. So what I do in that situation is I tell them a little story, and this is the story of the monk. And it's a story from my first year of playing Blood on the Clock Tower. The game is over. And 10 minutes setting up the game. Everyone knew the rules. I drew my token out. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to lie. I was given 3 roles I could be. One of them was the monk. And I sat there and someone turned to me and went, so who are you? And I went, I'm the monk. And they were like, no, you're lying. You're the demon. I was out within 5 minutes. The entire game was over. In less time than the storyteller had taken to set it up. And I go, so don't worry, you won't ever do as badly as I did when I was the monk. And that's how I get people into the game. Because I'm like, it's fine. If we mess up, we'll just reset. And it's not a problem. It's just about having fun with your friends. And if you're bad at lying, it's still a good giggle.
Yeah, and I think that's what really helped me. It helped me enjoy the game as much as I did. Because if it's not really your thing, you're still going to have fun. And it really, the storyteller is a big part of it as well. We had the game that I played, our storyteller is incredible. And, but yeah, just the interactions you have with your fellow players is a lot of fun. But yeah, great call. I'm so glad you brought that up because I just did play it for the first time. So happy to share my experience. Thank you for that, Dimples.
I look forward to seeing some episodes of you playing it as well.
Yeah. Folks, be sure to tune in, goodtimesociety.com over there, the YouTube channel. Let's move on to our number 5. We got 5 more games to talk about. And I'm going to go from, let's see, we just talked about a big old social deduction game. Let's go to a light card game that just came on my table recently. And again, this is another one that's been around forever, but for some reason, I just never play it. It's our number 5. It is a game called Coloretto. Coloretto is a lovely card game that I picked up at a local gaming store, and the owner of the store taught it to me in about a minute and a half, like 90 seconds. I didn't time him, but it felt like 90 seconds. But this game you're just collecting different colors of cards, and what you're doing is you do one thing on your turn. You either draw a card and place it in one of the columns, like Becca's doing there on our jacked up matchup on Good Morning Society, or you're going to take a column of cards in your tableau. So what you're doing is building a tableau of cards, and the more you have one color, the better. But here's the twist. You don't want too many different colors, because you're going to score 3 colors based on how many cards you have positively. Then all the other colors you have are going to be negative scores. So you're really trying to just focus on 3 colors, but just the way the cards come out, they never come out like that. So you're going to definitely take some negatives, or some L's, as the kids say these days. And um, what's great is you just do it. That's just every round you do it, and then at some point there's a card that's been randomly inserted towards the bottom that signifies the end of the game. That you play it that round, and then you just count up your cards. So the scoring, it's I believe it's exponential scoring. So 1 card in 1 color is worth 1 point. 2 cards is worth 2. 3 cards is 4. 4 cards is 8, or whatever, etc., etc. But once you have 3 colors, the same scoring mechanism works for the negative scores. So if I have 4 different colors, 3 of them have 8 cards each, and then or 6 cards each, then the next 4th color also has 6 cards. I'm going to get 6 cards negative. So that could be like minus 18 points. Really clever mechanism. Super simple, but I've played this in the month that I've got it. I think I've played it a dozen times. It works really well with new gamers. It's a nice filler for more hardcore gamers. It only takes about 20 minutes, but this is a terrific game. Highly recommend it. It's our number 5, Colorado.
It's nice to have those games on your shelf where you can take them out and teach in a minute and a half and have a wonderful experience and a memory, but you haven't had to explain 45 minutes of rules.
Right. I feel like, I don't know how your gaming journey has gone, Dimples, but my gaming journey has started like, okay, so I started with Pandemic and Ticket to Ride, and then I increasingly got into super heavier games. And my ultimate game, I don't know if you can see it here, my all-time favorite game is this one here, Twilight Imperium, 4th edition, right there. But now I feel like the games I'm liking are coming back down in complexity. I'd rather have like a page of rules and just less overhead so I can get at the table faster. But I don't know. That's just how my gaming journey has gone so far. I mean, do you find yourself doing that as well, or are you just super into heavier games, or how's that look on your end?
I must say, I am a fan of a heavy game, and I actually played Twilight Imperium for the first time this year.
Oh,
so
how was your experience?
It had taken me. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So I won't lie, I was apprehensive. And like I said, I've played board games for 8 years now. I can do Caverna, I can do Spirit Island, I can do complicated games.
Yeah.
But Twilight Imperium has this reputation about it. And I was thinking, we set out 12 hours, we planned 2 meals, it was going to be a whole day event.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of prep, it became such an incredible experience. Every time there was a big battle, we'd pick up all the pieces from the hex, because there just wasn't space. We'd go to a little coffee table and just play the battle out there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really fun. For a game that has such a high player count, like it plays optimally at a high player count.
Yes.
You don't have that downtime that you get in other games, because you're so invested in what everybody else is doing, and it's going to have such an impact on what you're going to do that we played for 8 hours in total, it took us, and I was engaged for the whole 8. So we have got another one booked in September, another one for the 1-year anniversary. We're going to play it every 6 months as long as we can.
I love that. That's incredible. Amazing. Yes. I'm glad you talked about how engaged you are in that game, because I was apprehensive about that too, right? I knew about the reputation, and became a bucket list game for me years ago. I was like, I need to try it at least once. And I still feel that way as a gamer. If you've never played, I feel like you should give it at least one shot. Just, what the heck, just try it. But yeah, during all my games of it, I fully invested the entire time. And we do always have a sandwich break at some point, and then I like to say I like to take a little nap break, but it's not really a nap. It's more like, let's just be quiet for 10 minutes and chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was right before the pandemic. One of my board game challenges was to play that game at least 10 times in 1 year. When I did, I was super excited.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was my 10, the 10 games, the 10 I wanted to do. And yeah, it was fun. I taught it to a lot of people, but boy, after that, it was a lot of Twilight Imperium, at least for me personally. But it's such a great game. I have not played it in about 3 years, I think. And
I
I
think
think
you're due a game, I would say.
yeah, I'm way
Yeah.
overdue. Now, one thing I would also recommend, check out the expansion to it. If you can get your hands on the expansion,
Yeah.
it's really cool. Like it opens up more of the exploration aspect of Twilight Imperium. So you're gonna have tiles that you're gonna flip over and discover new things and
Oh,
resource.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's really cool. I highly recommend it. And I was gonna say it doesn't really add time to the game, but honestly, it adds a little bit of time.
You set yourself a whole day aside anyway,
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
doesn't matter. You've
Yeah.
got all the time in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
There's somebody in my Twitch community, and he plays Twilight Imperium every single week, and
Wow.
he's already played.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is incredible. That's amazing. Wow. It's such a great game. But yeah, that's the total opposite of Colorado, folks, which we
Really
just
good
talked
game.
about. Let's move on to our number 4 game. I'm going to give it back to Dimples for our number 4.
Okay, so this is my second favorite game that I've played in June, and it is The Witcher Old World. So
Nice.
I am a massive fan of the Witcher universe. Witcher 3 is one of my favorite all-time games. This is set before that. And in The Witcher Old World, you are playing against witchers from other schools and competing to try and get full trophies first. But there are some incredible mechanics in this game. And the one I really want to talk about is the deck of cards that you're building. So there's a bit of a card deck builder element, but it's not as quick as in other deck building games. And it's quite hard actually to be really thoughtful about. But this one deck of cards is not only each turn to that deck, you're representing your skill as a witcher getting better, your ability in a fight getting stronger, and therefore the amount of time you last in a battle increases, and as such your health gets better. And the way that one deck of cards works throughout the game, I mean, there's choose your own adventure exploration, there's dice rolling, there's lots of fun elements in it, but that one deck of cards that you use and you build is just incredible. Really, really good and really well thought out mechanic. That
Nice. Yeah, I'm a deck building fan, but as people know from the channel that watch, I love deck building as part of a bigger game, right? As you have a
yeah.
board, you have other things. I like it as a mechanism as part of other things, not just a pure deck builder, say like Dominion or something, but something where you're doing other things. And that's what's really interesting to me is how, like you had mentioned, like it's not easy to just like get rid of cards from your deck, correct?
No.
So having that limitation, that makes it really tough. And by the way, we're watching Before You Play, thanks to Monique and Naveen for their video. They do excellent teaches of board games, probably some of the best in the business, folks. So if you don't already, please follow them. But yeah, this looks like, so I'm totally unfamiliar with the Witcher world. I feel like I need to get into it. People talk about it all the time, but maybe I need to give this one a shot. If you're not familiar with the Witcher world, how do you think I would be able to get into this? What do you? I don't know. What do you think about that, Dimples?
Oh yeah, I was having this conversation earlier today because the stream theme I'm doing this month is board games based on video games, and I think you can have two different kinds of board games that have been based on a video game, and one is I love Stardew Valley, absolutely love it,
Yep.
but Stardew Valley falls into this category. It's a simple mechanic, chill play, but the real draw is the game. It probably isn't a very interesting game, but for someone who loves the video game, it's amazing. The Witcher falls into the other bracket.
Okay.
So even if I'd never played The Witcher, didn't know anything about the world, the way the mechanics work, the strategy that goes into it, the co-op, the way that you interact with other players, even though it's not a co-op, the way that the monsters get more difficult, the unique event cards that choose your own adventure style. There's so much going on in that game that even if you haven't experienced the Witcher world, it's a fantastic board game in its own right. It just has lovely nods to the Witcher universe for those who also love The Witcher.
Nice. I recently played a game based on The Last of Us. Again, another series that I have no idea. I have not watched the series, but this game, I played with friends. It was a cooperative game, and while I enjoyed it, and it's got some of the typical like zombie tropes and whatnot, but there's specific characters and stuff. I had no idea they loved it because they, watched the series, but I still had a great time
Yeah.
even though I didn't know the series itself. So I feel like The Witcher might be a similar experience for me.
Yeah, and because this one's set, so it's the old world. It's set before any of the stories I know about. You haven't got Geralt, you haven't got Ciri. It's not
Okay.
those kind of key characters, but you have some Witcher schools that you're familiar with. And apart from that, yeah, it's a new experience, I think, for a lot of people.
Nice. All right, let's move on to our number 3. Thank you for that. That was a great choice. And we've got a couple more games to talk about, friends. Again, if you haven't already, please follow Dimples on all the socials and all the YouTubes and Twitches and all the Instagrams and all the stuff. If you're watching the VOD, I've got the show notes, links below for you to check out. Number 3 game, this is my number 2 for the month, is a lovely little game that is coming out at Gen Con this year in about a month. Oh my gosh, it's less than a month now that I think about it. It is a game called High Tide. This is an abstract game, and you're placing tiles sort of like the game the Hive. If you ever played Hive, that's a modern classic abstract game. But High Tide takes that and develops it in a way that I really fell in love with instantly. In this game, you're going to be playing either the pink or the blue tiles. The yellow tiles are neutral. And what you're doing is every turn, you're going to take one tile and place it on another tile. Okay. You're either taking your tile or the neutral tile. You don't touch your opponents. So you're going to be building up this, little stack of tiles. And eventually there's going to be a point where you can't make a legal move, because you always have to move up at least one higher than the tile is. Okay. So, and if my tiles are covered by yours or the neutrals, too bad, I can't reach it because you can only take the top one. Eventually, when the round ends, you're going to look at the tiles, and I'm going to pause the video right here. You're going to look down, and whoever has the most tiles showing, they win the round, and they get one of those stones. So in this case, pink has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Michelle has 5. I have 1, 2 as the blue. Michelle would take the stone for this round, and we'd reset and do it again. The first to 3 stones is the winner. It's simple, it's beautifully elegant, and it's the type of game that I love to have in my bag all the time because it sets up quickly and it's super easy. I just explained the game in about 90 seconds. Again, I never time my explanations, but I'm going to call it 90 seconds. But that is High Tide. It's our number 3, and it is coming out at Gen Con. Shout out to Marceline, the designer, for sending me over a advanced copy. And oh, there's me and Michelle. We're talking right there about how much we love the game. Dimples, are you a fan of abstract games? These, games such as chess, Go, those classics, of course, but then also something like High Tide or Hive, if you've played it.
They're not games that I tend to play very much of. I did enjoy playing chess growing up because, there wasn't very many options when you were board gaming when you were younger.
That's right.
But I really like the way that there's so much unseen strategy in a game like that. It's like when you're playing noughts and crosses, but on another level. There's a couple of moves I can do in reaction and retaliation. You can focus on building the stack and covering one, or do you focus on trying to spread things out? And it's those puzzles for your brain. They're so interesting. So it's really nice to have like them as a palate cleanser.
Yeah, and what a great choice of words, palate cleanser. I think this is the perfect palate cleanser, right, between other games. But you could also play this several times as well because the game is really quick. Just want to shout out B. Travis again, said this would be the perfect game to play on vacation at the beach. Yeah, and I actually brought this to the beach about a month ago. Michelle and I celebrated our anniversary. Brought it to the beach. We did not play it because we ate a bunch of food and just fell into a food coma. That's how we go at the beach, folks. But
that's the best way to spend an anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that is our number 3, High Tide. We got 2 more games to talk about. Again, I cannot thank Dimples for joining us today. This has been fantastic. But we got 2 more. I'm going to turn it back to Dimples for number 2, which is number 1 on your list, right?
Yes. So this is probably my second favorite game of all time, and is only beat by Caverna because I think the history I have with Caverna and what it's done for me in my life and bringing me into this hobby. But my absolute favorite game from June was Ark Nova. Now, if you haven't played Ark Nova before, it is a zoo creating game in which you have to lay down enclosures. You then way that you have to be talking about
Yes.
it's not just about having a zoo full of interesting animals for your guests to walk at. It's fun. There's 5 actions that you can do on your turn. And because everybody's got all the same action cards, it means that one start can cause so many different zoos to come out. The difference in how everybody's zoo looks at the end is a credit to how well this game plays and the way the mechanics work together. The best thing about this game is that it is an incredible solo experience. I tend to play this game exclusively solo. They have a solo board for you to use. You have 21 turns to try and get to that crossover point of the appeal and the conservation. And it is so good. So if you haven't played it solo, you really need to give it a try. And the board game arena version of this is fantastic.
Yeah, this has been high on my list of solo games. I've heard, again, all my friends that play solo games, they've always pointed this one as like one of their favorites. And I played this at 2 and 3 players, always enjoyed the experience, but I feel like this is the type of game I would prefer solo just because it's such a brain burner to me where I just want to sit there and I don't want to worry about, oh, I'm making the game go by a little too slow for everyone, like, because I'm thinking about a bunch of stuff going on, and as much as I love it, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to slow down the game, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let me go back over here. This video is from my brothers from another mother, the brothers Murph, Nick and Mike. They played that the Marine expansion. Now I have not played the Marine expansion. Can you talk a little bit about that, Dimples?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I would not play it without the Marine expansion anymore.
Oh.
And I can see people in the chat mentioning about the mic. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Thank you for bearing with us.
No worries.
So the thing about Ark Nova that would probably make it an 8 out of 10 without the expansion is that points wise or funding conservation wise, you're looking to collect specific icons into your zoo. And there is such a large pile of cards that you have to work through. But that display that they've got there is so static. It doesn't move throughout the game.
Right.
At a break, 2 cards will come off, 2 new will come on. And apart from when people pick up cards, the display doesn't move. And if you're looking for predators or looking for Asian animals and those are just not coming up, your whole strategy is just halted. The Marine expansion, it introduces the wave concept. So anytime a card appears on the display with the wave icon, the end card goes and the wave pushes all the cards along. And you can have a string of wave cards come out and completely refresh your display, allowing all players to access the different icons and actually work through the deck.
That's cool. Okay, nice. So yeah, I feel like that's something easy to add into the game, but probably necessary for those who have played it.
Really necessary. Yeah, it really made it a great game into a fantastic game. And I think without it, it's nice seeing an expansion used to genuinely improve the gameplay.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've done with the Ark Nova Marine expansion.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I can't wait to play it. Thank you for sharing that. That looks fantastic. All right. One more game, folks, is going to be my number one of the month. And this is a game I played several times over the last couple of years, and it's just been a huge hit with me. I love the theme. I love how smoothly it plays. It is number one on the list. Let's Go to Japan. And this is from designer Josh Wood. AEG published it. They sent over a copy. Actually, they sent over a very lovely copy, including the nice ceramic bowls. These bowls for the bits were just amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, isn't it gorgeous? I love this. In Let's Go to Japan, it's a tableau builder. And what you're doing, you've got 7 days in Japan, but you're planning your itinerary for your trip. And you're doing that through card drafting. And you're going to draft a couple of cards. I'm playing the solo game here for Critical Hit Games at this point here. So you draft cards, you place one in your tableau on any one of those days, and then you discard the other card or give it to the other player. And then you're going to continue through, I think it's 13 rounds. And at the end of 13 rounds, you'll eventually have a display of items where you have 3 things that you're doing every day of the week, Monday through Saturday, actually. So And when you have those, you're trying to line up things that are similar with the same icons. I forget the exact terms they use. I think it's like you want to do some like sightseeing, you want to eat somewhere, you want to do some shopping, and so forth. And what really the cool part of this game, so I love the card drafting and everything, but it's at the end where you actually take your trip. So you start on Monday and you travel until Saturday, and it has this really nice narrative that you put together. It's like, oh, today I'm eating ramen in Tokyo, and then I need to take the train over to Kyoto to go see a temple, and so forth. And it's a really neat way to do it because as you're moving from city to city, you need train tokens, right? You can't just travel on the train for free. So hopefully you've collected enough of those to make your trip. If not, you're not scoring points, folks. And oh, and there's this happiness meter as well, which I really appreciate. Like the things that you do, if they line up, you're going to increase your happiness on the trip. And then you have to watch your budget, because if you spend too much, oh no, that's going to decrease your happiness. So what seems like a simple, really neat concept turns into this lovely tableau building game that has a little bit more going on to it than you think on the surface. So I wouldn't call it a heavy game, but it's definitely not a light game. I'd call it almost a perfect medium weight game. And that's why it's my number one for the month. Let's go to Japan.
Oh, I would love to play that game. I've seen that popping up on my stream. I've seen it popping up in like Discord. People have been
Yes.
recommending it.
Yeah.
It just looks. I love a tableau builder like Earth. I've really been
Yes.
playing and enjoying recently.
Yep.
And what you can do with the tableau builder is amazing. And in such a great theme. Have you ever been to Japan yourself, Ruel?
I have. And
Have
boy,
you?
it's
Wow.
yeah. Michelle and I went. So, quick story time here, folks, with your Uncle Ruel. A few years ago, actually it's almost a decade, maybe 7 years ago. Our daughter Lauren was going to school in Japan for her study abroad program, and rather than doing just like a semester or a quarter, she did the entire year in Japan. So
That's
it was
incredible.
amazing. And at the end of her school year there, Michelle and I went to visit her for 10 days. And it was the best time ever. Like, all we did was eat and walk around the city. That's literally all we did. And I've never tasted any better ramen or sushi in my life. And Japan, Tokyo, actually, I'd like to go to Kyoto. We didn't go to Kyoto. We spent most of our time in Tokyo. But that is number one on my list of countries we want to go back to, is Japan. It's such a lovely, just amazing place. Have you been to Japan, Dimples?
I haven't. No,
Oh,
it's one place I'd really like to go to, and
yeah.
I thought possibly actually, oh, you must be a lot closer to Japan than we are, but it's still very far away from you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It was at least a 10-hour trip, a flight.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe, yeah, it was at least 10 hours. Yeah. How far are you from? Um,
I think it's about 10 hours for us as
yeah,
well,
we're
which
probably right in the middle, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
So,
it's I've heard amazing things about Japan, and the food. I'd love to go, like you said, to try it in the place where
yeah,
everyone knows really what they're doing.
yeah.
A lovely thing about that game as well, that is all of the pictures are done by Japan-based artists, which I think is
Yes.
a really nice addition that they did to that game. They
Yeah,
really thought about trying to bring part of the game design
yeah.
to the country that it represents. And I think that's a really important thing to do.
I agree. I love that. And it's a really interesting story too. The designer Josh Wood, he was actually planning a trip with his partner to Japan, but then the pandemic broke out, so he had to cancel his trip. And he ended up saying, "I'm just going to design a game about going to Japan," and that's what this game came about from, was his unfortunate incident. But it gave us a great game, you know?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
plan your dream itinerary over and over again until you're
exactly.
able to leave and actually go.
Right. Exactly. Also, what I love about this, like, I think it'll appeal to folks. I have a lot of friends who are like super into organization. I'm not an organizational type of guy. I'm terrible. But if you really like to plan stuff, this is the game for you, folks. I mean, it's literally about building an itinerary for a trip. I mean, yeah, folks, if you love that type of gameplay theme, you're definitely gonna like Let's Go to Japan.
Big into my
Nice.
organization. I'm like, oh, I get to write a list and plan a budget, make a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
I'm like, yes.
exactly. Okay, friends, that's our best board games of the month for June 2025. You've been watching Tabletop Recall. Dungeons and Dimples, friends, this has been incredible. This has lived up to all that I expected. I really enjoy your streams, your community, And I cannot thank you enough for joining me today, Dimples. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to, if you want to share any final thoughts before we get going, please do now.
I just want to say thank you so much for having me here. I'm still quite new in streaming in the community, and it's just an honor to be here and to spend some time talking board games with people who love them as much as I do. If you ever want to come and hang out and play board games with me, I tend to stream on a Thursday at 6:30 UK time. I promise the audio quality is so much better.
Yeah.
It's not robotic Dimples over on my stream. So we'll have to do this again at some time, Ruel, and
Absolutely.
get the tech right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, we're definitely doing this again. Your insights and your thoughts on games were just incredible, and I would love to pick your brain about more games in the near future. So, with that
we
said,
should talk
folks,
about Twilight Imperium for a whole hour.
Yeah.
I think we could probably
like
spend an hour talking about that.
Oh, speaking of Twilight Imperium, did you know it is in alpha on Board Game Arena right now? It is.
So we could talk about Twilight Imperium and play Twilight Imperium.
Yeah.
I might have to take the day off work for that one, but it sounds like a good way to play the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, let's give it up to Dungeons and Nipples. Thank you again for joining me. Friends, I'm going to take a quick break, and what we're going to do is we'll make sure Dimples gets out okay. Then I'm going to take a break, set it up for the next part of the show where I'm going to talk about other games I played and also the games that you played. So stick around. I'm going to put the Be Right Back sign. Oh, by the way, thanks to Board Game Geek for hosting us today. Hi, everyone on Board Game Geek. We really appreciate it. And we'll be right back. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And we are back, friends. Wow. Shout out again to Dungeons and Dimples. That was so much fun. She was great. I mean, she was beyond great. She was so insightful and thoughtful, and she knows her games, friends. And I learned a lot. Like, The Witcher looks amazing. And, oh, what was the other game? Well, we talked about Blood on the Clock Tower. Oh, what was the other one she had mentioned? The Witcher and the first one, it was Frostpunk. Just, as we do the research before the show, or I'll look at the games that a guest such as Bonds before. We've had Bonds on, and now Dungeons and Dimples. Like, I like to do the research and see what these games are about, and just the games that they pick are really interesting, and I immediately want to play them. So thanks again to Dimples for hanging out with me today. Folks, I want to have her back. So let us know in chat or in the various Discords, either hers or mine or wherever. If you'd like to see us do that again, let us know and we'll make that happen. She was fantastic. Don't forget to hydrate, folks. I need to hydrate. I hope you've been hydrating as well. And I hope you're having a wonderful Monday fun day. Again, shout out to BGG for hosting. If you're watching on BGG, thank you so much for hanging out. I am going to drop the Discord link, hang out with us offline. Well, not offline, but when the show's, when we're not live, hang out with us on Discord. Yeah, B. Travis, definitely have her back. She was awesome. I agree. Dimples was amazing. Thank you, Goblin. I 100% agree. She was so great. And I had to, we chatted a little bit before we went live. We had a couple of emails as well, but just getting to know her on stream, it was great, and I can see why her community is such a wonderful place. And yeah, we'll have her on for sure again. What is this over here? What am I looking at? Oh, okay. my other screen, I've got the second screen is sorry. Anyways, we're good. Hopefully the next time we have Dimples back, we won't have any of the audio or video issues, but I appreciate y'all for letting us know when things were going haywire, but also for your patience and understanding as we deal with those things. Yeah. B. Travis, yeah, I'm saying that having not heard half of what she said, yeah, and well, it's crazy because on my end everything was fine, but I know that what we're sending out to the interwebs was a little off. But we'll figure out next time. And yeah, Dimple says it's lovely to come back again. I would love that. All right, so what we do here every month is talk about the games that we play, and I'm going to go through the rest of the games. You saw the top 10; those are my top 5 games. I have 28 other games I'm going to talk about right now. So we're going to get through this, and then we're going to talk about some of the games that you all have highlighted in the Discord. And for some reason, my little comment thing down here is not working again today, so I will fix that next time. But for now, I'll just type in the names of the games here as instead of being able to pull up your comments as always, which makes it so much easier for me. But hey, easy is not what we're doing here, folks. It's a challenge doing this stuff. By the way, it reminded me, Dimples was so great. She was able to just relax and come on the show, and she did fantastic. And I forgot how crazy nerve-wracking it is being on this side, bringing, making sure all the tech is right, and just making the scene switching and stuff. I've been spoiled. I go every Wednesday to Good Time Society. We have a studio manager, Ray. He does all that stuff, so Beck and I can just focus on the show. And then when I have streams here at home, it's usually just me solo like this. It's like something messes up, whatever. But now with a guest, I forgot. It's like, oh man, I'm sweating over here. But it was great, yeah. And as Evil Term says, yeah, if you don't have technical issues, are you even streaming? I don't think you are if you don't have anything. But thank you for that, Evil Turnip. Folks, we're going to get to this right now. I'll take another sip of my water. And we're going to get to my list of games for the best board games of the month in June 2025, starting off with number 28. Now, I've got a bunch of different games I'm going to be talking about today, and the top 5 games I actually did with Dungeons and Dimples, so you'll see that at the very end. But right now, we are at number 28, and it is a game called Card Catcher. Card Catcher, I cracked up when I saw this. It was such a little fun little theme. It's a game about a claw machine. And what is a claw machine? Those, like, oh, let me rewind that. I got to show you the claw mechanism. There it is. That's the claw mechanism, folks. It's those little games in the arcade where you drop a claw and get a plushie or a toy or whatever. And in this game, it's these are cards. So the cards themselves, that's what you're doing, but you're dropping a little coin onto that stack of cards, and then wherever that coin ends up, you're going to take that card. So here I am in the video that I did talking about how that we have to do. You have to put your hand on the table and then your other hand on top of your elbow, and then you're going to drop. It's supposed to look like a claw. I don't know if it does or not, but I will say it does. But it was more fun than I thought. It was silly. I actually played this with my buddy Oscar at LFG Con, and you're just trying to match the different icons. If you have similar plushies, then you'll get more points. And then there's a card that allows you to take an extra turn, and you just drop the coin just like I did there. And then whatever card it ends up on, you take that in your collection. Super cute, and as you can see, adorable art. Some of them give you points based on like the different icons that you collect or different types of little toys that you collect. Others are for similar. Really quick and simple dexterity game. That is the number 28 for the month, Card Catcher. And I should shout out Level 99 Games for sending over a copy of that. Thank you, Level 99. And let's move on to number 27. Number 27 is En Route. So En Route is a roll and write game that I got to play with the crew over there at Critical Hit Games. This was a lot of fun. A roll and write game where you're trying to connect the different routes to either landmarks such as museums or things, and you're trying to pick up the tourists on the way. It reminded me of a lot of the other game. The bus game? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot what it is. The one, Let's Make a Bus Route. It reminded me of that, but a simpler version of it. It wasn't quite as, I guess, brain burny, but this was still a terrific experience. And Critical Hit Games, where I stream every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, they have copies of this game in store, and I would recommend it for a lighter roll and write experience, or actually a flip and write experience. You're flipping over cards, and then you're going to try to trace routes from the different points of interest to each other. So a light game, definitely worth checking out if you're into the roll and write thing. And let's move on to number 26 on the list. Again, I told you I'm going fast this time. There's a lot of games I got to talk about. Number 26 is a small box game, a small card game called Wizard's Cup. This one is a two-player game, and shout out to Steph and Michael for putting up this video for the game. Wizard game, it's a dueling battle game, very light, quick, from the designer of Love Letter. I always forget his name. Seijai Kanai, I believe it is. Sorry if I butchered that. But you are, flipping over cards and you're battling each other super quick. And I wish I could give better explanation of this. My buddy Oscar and I played this at Elf and G-Con. He had just picked it up, and we just sort of learned it on the fly. So the rules teach was a little we just sort of figured it out, and I already forgot about it, honestly. But as you can see, Steph and Michael, you can check out their video for a more detailed rules explanation. Oh, there they are, right there. Yeah, different cards. Yeah, you're gonna play them, flip them over just like that, and then the higher card is gonna trigger. But I know there's other cards that if it's lower or whatever, it's gonna trigger different abilities, and you're just trying to knock your opponent out there. So a two-player, I guess, battle game. Yeah, I think that's what we'll call it. Two-card battling game. That sounds fun to me, right? That is Wizard's Cup. I do have a copy of this. I'll probably do, after I learn it a little more properly, I'll bring that over and I'll do a video for that Wizard's Cup. All right, moving right along. We are moving today, folks. Number 25 is Cascadia. I've covered this game plenty on the channel. This time I did a live stream for Critical Hit Games where I played through the solo game. I've done solo streams. Y'all know how much I love this. It's ranked low on this list, only not because I don't love it, but because there's other games I'd like to highlight this month. Cascadia, though, still one of my all-time favorite tile-laying games. I've also played Cascadia Junior, the more family-friendly, kid-friendly version, which I recommend as a filler. But the actual game here, the first one, Cascadia, is brilliant. This, I just use the standard scoring cards, but you can have different scoring cards where you draw tiles, and you also draw wildlife tokens. You're building a tableau of your different tiles and habitats. The habitats score points based if they're on next to similar habitats. The wildlife tokens, they score same way depending, or they actually score depending on the different wildlife scoring options you have at the top there. Those cards tell you, hey, in this game, I wanted the salmon in a run, or I wanted the bears in pairs, or whatever. You can switch those out from game to game. I played all kinds of different versions. I played it digitally. I still love it. One of my all-time favorites. Still worth checking out, folks. This is Cascadia at number 25. Okay, moving right along. Let's go to number 24. This game, I played it during the Good Morning Society, Good Time Society celebration for 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Number 24 is Lynx. Linkx. I always have to make sure I spell that right because it's a little different spelling. Here's Beck and I playing it on Good Morning Society. It's a two-player tile dropping game. It's sort of like Drop It and Blockus. If they met and had a gaming baby, it would be this game here, Lynx. Beck and I, we learned this on the fly, actually, during the stream. On it, you just take one of your tiles. You're going to play either blue or white. Drop it into the little game component. I don't know what it is, a display. And what we're trying to do is get your color from either left to right or up to down. You want them to touch the edges. And when you drop, you can only drop, as you see us here, you have to drop on at least on one, it has to cover at least one of your colors, I believe. Right? And, oh, no, it doesn't. You just have to drop it so it completely covers a piece. Like what I just did there, Becca did there. Obviously, I'm the white, she's the blue. I have gone all the way across, left to right, and Becca said, okay, we're starting a new game. And just like that, we did another game. It's super simple, but I love it. It's got that wow factor on the table, like, hey, this looks really cool. Table presence, that's what it's called. This has table presence galore. And I just love the mechanism of dropping. Very much like Tetris, but if you saw the original Tetris board game by Phil Walker Harding, praise be, one of the probably the only Phil Walker Harding game I didn't like, and it wasn't through no his fault of his. It was the components. The components for Tetris, they were not good. These components here were excellent. They slid. They were perfect. They didn't get stuck or anything like the Tetris game. Becca just won there, so I'm like, okay, we have to have another game. So that's how quick it is. I know we're playing this fast motion, but the game is like a 5-minute game. It's terrific. That's why it's my number 24 for the month. Lynx. All right, let's get the next one up here. I need to trigger. I'm talking way too fast. Whoa! I just spilled some? Did you see that? I just spilled. It went. Psh. Number 23. Where is this? Here. Okay. Take this up here and. All right. Thanks for your patience, folks. Number 23 is another two-player card game, a battling game, and this is called Slambo. Shout out to Allplay for sending over a copy of this one as well, which we played during the 100K giveaway over at Good Morning Society. Beck and I taught it to her right then and there. It takes a minute to explain and a couple of minutes to play. You just have a deck of cards. You have your hand of cards, 7 cards you start with. They're numbered 1 through 9, and you're playing them on top of each other. And then whoever has you're going to total the cards every turn. If you ever go past 0 or 10, you lose. That's it. And you have to, that your opponent you get pinned by your opponent, or is it pinned? I don't know what the term is in sumo, but you've been knocked out of the ring or whatever. So after 3 times, the other player wins. So you're just playing cards on top of each other. The blue cards are positive, red cards are negative. So you cannot go over 10, you cannot go below 0, but you're trying to manipulate it in a way to keep it between those numbers in sumo. And you play till 3 falls, I think it's called, or 3 pins, but really quick, fun little game. Dig it at Slambo. All right, number 22, another small box games. Lots of small box games, as always, this month. I love these, and I love Reiner Knizia. His games are brilliant, and that's why I have number 22, Kariba. Not Karuba, but Kariba. This is a game by the good, one and only doctor, the good Dr. Knizia, where you are playing animals to next to a watering hole. These animals are numbered 1 through 8, and you may play as many as you want on a turn, and you draw back up. Whenever there's an animal that has 8, or not 8, has 3 or more, you're going to be able to chase away an animal adjacent to it. So that number, the number 8 that we just played, Gerald, my buddy Gerald just played it. He chased away number 7. So you always go to the lower numbers. Now, there's one really cool twist. The number 1, it's a mouse. That's the only one that can chase away the number 8. That is the elephant, right? Just like in nature. Like nature has taught us, right? Mice scare off elephants. As you can see there as well, when you play a number, even if it's not totally next to it, adjacent, you just keep going around the circle until you scare away one of the animals. And the animals that you scare away, you take them in your hand. You just count how many cards you have. The most cards wins. That's it. All right. I love a simple game like that. I love Kariba. It's one of my go-to games that are in my game bag that I take wherever I go. That one, and now High Tide is one of them. Actually, Seaside was one as well. But Kariba, oh, and also Colorado. That's another one that I've been adding to my go bag of games. Let's move on to number 21. This is another classic, modern classic in the last couple of years, 2 years or so. Castle Combo. I love Castle Combo. It's a tableau builder and set collection, and you got a little king domino. As far as a spatial thing, you have to build a kingdom of 9 cards. You do that through card drafting, and you got a little resource management there, trying to have enough coins and or keys to get the card that you want. On your turn, draft one of the cards, pay for it, put it in your tableau. You're going to get an instant ability, and then at the end, you're going to have a scoring mechanism or scoring condition that you'll get to score at the very end, which you do. Then you're going to count keys for worth a point, and then coins are tiebreaker. There's so many different ways to score in this game for each card. It's really interesting as you build your tableau, like where you put things, because once you put it there, it's locked in. And some of the conditions are spatial. So if you put a card on the bottom, you can't move it back to the middle because you got a card that says you scored it in the middle, right? It's a little, push your luck element to it as well. Goblin, yes, Castle Goblin is fun. I love this game. I think it's fantastic. By the way, if you're watching this on the VOD, folks, we do this live once a month, the first Monday of the month. Although this month we recorded it on the second Monday just because I had another stream going on the first month. But hey, we just talked about Castle Combo. Let's talk about another small box game. Wow, there's a lot of small box games this month, but that's great because I love talking about them. I love sharing them. And number 20 is Flip 7, probably my favorite small box game of last year, and also one of the all-time great small box games. It's pure push your luck, and we played it again on the 100K giveaway over at Good Time Society. Becca, Matt, Jake, and I played, and guess who won? It might have been me. Yes, it was. In this one, you're just trying to get 7 cards on your tableau. They cannot be the same. So you're pushing your luck. Like, when do I want to stop versus when do I want to continue? If you get a card that's the same one as one that's in front of you, you're out. You just lose. But there are cards to offset that. You get a second chance card, so even if you bust in that sense, you can continue. Other cards force players to either stop or continue drawing cards. And you're trying to get to, I think it's 150 points is the trigger. Is it 150? Yeah. First one 150 triggers it, then you figure out who has the most, and that is the winner. Oh, Ray also played. He's a studio manager. He played off screen, and we just played the cards for him. Great game. That is Flip 7 from the Op, who sent me over a copy, and they're great. So thanks to the Op for the Flip 7, folks. If you haven't played Flip 7, get on over, see if you can find it at your local Walmart or Target or whatever, because it is they did a really big push to get into retail, and I think it's great because it's a game that I feel like a lot of folks that are new to games or have only played like Uno, I feel like they can get into it really easily. And Migman says Flip 7 is so good, played it with 13 with one deck once, and if you had 13s it worked fine. Nice. Wow, 13 players, that's great. I don't think I played a game that big. I think it's like I played it 7 maybe, Flip 7 at 7. But yeah, I love that you can play so many players at that. All right, let's move on to our number 19 game. We're getting to 19. This game is called, it's a new game to me, but it's an older game, and this is another thing I love is finding new to me games, right? I don't have to. We don't always have to talk about the latest hotness, but number 19 is Cable Car. This game has been around for maybe 20 odd years. If you ever played the game Suro, this reminds me of Suro, but a more gamified version of it. We're watching the trailer for Cable Car from Queen Games here. On your turn, you're going to draw a tile and place it on the main shared board. And like Suro, you're going to look at the tracks. This is obviously, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but San Francisco is known for its cable cars, and this is based in San Francisco. You place cards, and you see there, it really builds up, right? This huge, big board here. And as you move, you're gonna add. You have your routes that are going towards the middle. If you get to the middle, you're going to score points. There's 2 to 6 players, 8 and up, 45 minutes. If you can get your cable car to the middle, you're going to score a double points. If not, it's going to loop back around, back out to the, I forget what they're called, depots or whatever, and you'll just score a single point for your as many tiles in your route. So as you can see there, you really want to try to get to the middle, and then you're going to take one of the little carts or cable cars and place it there in the middle when you score it. It's a fun game. I liked it, but I really want to try. There's a variant that we did not get to try. Shout out to my buddy Gil and Daryl for playing this. Gil taught it. And after we played the base game, which was fun, he talked about this other option, which you can see right here. They're playing in the video where you manage stocks. So I want to get into the whole economic thing here of this. I have no idea how it plays, but I'm definitely looking to try it again. That is my number 19 of the month, Cable Car. Okay. Moving. Let's continue here. This is... set this up here. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties, as always. Not as always. We're doing okay now. All right. Number 18 is a game that is new again. And what I mean by that is there's an edition that came out years ago, which I love. Even got the expansion to it. Now they have this new edition that I just played. I may need to get this new edition. This is Parks second edition. And if you never played this one, this is a brilliant gateway style game. If it's been compared to Tokaido, where you're just moving along the trail, you're visiting the national parks in the US, and you just move, collect resources, then eventually use those resources to visit the different parks, which are shown at the top of the screen there. And there are different items you can collect along the way. They're worth points and also help you get more resources. You can take pictures, which give you more points. Great theme. I love we've talked about this before on the channel, just I don't know if it's proliferation, but there's a lot of games these days that have the nature theme, and this is one of the earlier examples, and I think it's a great one because it's a game that you can easily teach someone. There is a little dice rolling as well, so new gamers always love to roll dice. At least I think so. But Park Second Edition, let me go back to the video here. You can see here, I played with Critical Hit Games. They had the new edition. You can see the art's different. I like the new art. I like the old art, but this one, I just feel like it's a little more vibrant, and they've changed up some of the icons. They've also, from what I understand, added in a few of the rules tweaks that the expansions gave it. So I think overall, Parks Second Edition, it's a winner, and definitely one for you to check out. If you like Parks, definitely look at this one. If you didn't like Parks, I don't think it'll change your mind as far as the game, but I really dig it, and that's why it's my number 18 of the month, Parks Second Edition. Moving on to number 17. Number 17 is Flowers. Flowers is a game that is based on Mandala. I believe it was the original. Mandala was a game where you are building the Sand Mandala. Is a 2-player game. It's got some set collection and hand management, and this is basically Mandala for 4 players. And we actually played it at 3. Me, again, my buddy Daryl and Gil, we played together. I liked it, but after playing it, I think I like Mandala better. I think the 2-player version, it just seems smoother to me. I don't know if they added anything to... I think they did add something here to Flowers. Again, I only played it once, and I liked it. I just felt like it wasn't quite as smooth, or it Yeah, not quite as smooth as a Mandala. But the reason why I ranked it high, I think it's a brilliant game. Oh, let me go back over here, where you're trying to get as many different colors as possible on one side here, but then it's in order to take it, you have to have the you're gonna have to have the most, right, of a single color for each one. And then what's interesting is as you take these, oh man, what was it? Oh, now I forgot. It's that marker there that tells you who's in the lead for each one. So it's a little area control. That's what it was, a little bit of area control and set collection because you want to have the most of certain colors. But I will play this one again because I did enjoy it, just not as much as the two player. But I think that just the scoring is such a real treat with the area control. Okay, shout out to Daryl for showing me that one, and shout out to what's the game I was just gonna play? It is shout out to me for forgetting what's next on my list. No, shout out to friendly local game store, Game Nice Cafe in Pomona, California, for showing me this game. I want to thank Kyle, the store owner, for showing Deep Regrets. And I have no deep regrets of playing Deep Regrets because this is a fun little game of diving deep. And oh, hey, there's Stella and Tarrant from Maple University. It's got this really interesting, weird like fishing slash Cthulhu mashup, which I was like, what the heck? But it works. You are here's the deep as you go. You've got your little boats. You're gonna fish, right, by going on this little tableau here. And let me move up here. Here's the different characters that you have. And of course, there's madness when there's Cthulhu. So on the left there, that's the tracker for the madness. And as you add cards to that, it's going to go up or down, right, for the madness. But what's really neat is the higher it goes up on madness or lower, it's going to cause different cards to have different values. So you're trying to manage, how do I want to score this particular type of card? And if I do, that means, am I going to go super mad, or am I going to not add madness to the track? It really depends how you want to play it, and I like that about the game. You also have the different rod, reel, and supply. Those are different cards, scoring, and also ability cards. You have the really cool dice that look like boys right there. They're four-sided dice. And then of course you have the life savers, life preservers as well. I just noticed, I just heard that there was an expansion of this coming up, which was really cool. I think that's great. This game I played at 4 players. And oh, by the way, you go fishing, of course. So you're trying to got a little bit of push your luck. Like, okay, where do I want to go here? And do I have the equipment to fish? And I liked it. I feel like it went a little long. They do say it's, I think, roughly 30 minutes per player, which I guess was about what we played. But for what it was, like, you keep going back and forth from the shop to the ocean, trying to, you're trying to gear up, and then you're trying to get the fish. We actually played the shorter version, which is 6 rounds instead of 7, which I thought was a perfect amount of time. But still, well, not perfect amount of time. I would have liked it a little more streamlined, and maybe it is after you learn it. Now that I know it, I feel like it'll probably be faster. But I'm interested to see what the expansion does, and I believe the expansion will be out next year. This was funded on Kickstarter, I think. So be sure to check that out. That is Deep Regrets. Right, moving on to number 15. Number 15, I played recently at LFG Con. It is a new game, I believe not out yet, but coming soon, is Tamagotchi Collections. Do y'all know what Tamagotchi are? Do you remember what they are? There is the little toys, little, almost like a virtual pet before there were virtual pets. And you're trying to, feed them and let them thrive and grow to become the proper animals they were meant to be. Tamagotchi Collections, you see here, it's a set collection game. You have the different colors and different type of Tamagotchis. Again, this is just a short preview video that that they have right now, and I think it's just showing a couple of these things. I don't know if I took some photos of the game, but I enjoyed it. It was set collection at its heart, super cute art, and I'm looking forward to playing it again because the theme is, again, uber cute and very colorful in real life. I don't know if I'm supposed to share photos, but they did have that video there. I'm not sure when it's going to come out. It should be out hopefully by Gen Con, if not by Spiel, of course. But shout out to Court from Cask Entertainment, who taught us the game, demoed the game. Fun experience. Be sure to check it out. Tamagotchi Collections. That's my number 15. Got a couple of solo games coming up, folks. Y'all know how much I love solo games. Number 14 is from Zorua Games, which I picked up. Again, another game I picked up at LFGCon. It's number 14. It is Hermit. Hermit is an 18-card game, just like a Button Shy, where you're trying to get a hermit crab onto that wave. And you see here, it's just 18 cards. One side are the shells. The other side are the goals that you're trying to do. It would basically match up the shells. You draw a card. You'll have a card to play, and you're trying to overlap the cards or put them next to each other so they match the current goal, which is always 3 shells in a particular order. And if you do that, you're gonna, move it eventually closer, the crab closer to the wave, and you want to get on that wave before it reaches the right side there, because then the wave is gone, or the crab is left behind. Wah, wah, sad. You don't want that to happen. This is a terrific solo game. I love Amelie's designs. I played Tack. I played this one here, Hermit, which is a quick 10-minute solo game. I really like her designs. They're puzzly, but super light. Light as far as mechanisms and gameplay. It's really, 10, 15, 20-minute games. Attack was like a 20, 30-minute game. Hermit, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And that leads me right into my number 13 game. I bet you can guess who it's by. It's by Amelie at Zorua Games. It's another game that I picked up at LFGCon. By the way, shout out to LFGCon. Check out the website, folks. I'll put a link in the show notes. It's a great convention that just started. First one ever in LA about 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago. I loved it. Had such a great experience. And it also allowed me to buy this game from Amelie directly at the vendor's hall, Road Trip. Yes, Road Trip. Yet, this is another 18-card game. I like this one slightly better than Hermit, just because of the art. I love the theme of this one a little more, where it's definitely not as hard. I felt like Hermit was a little tougher. What? No, I think about it. No, Road Trip was tougher. This one, you're trying to get the cards in order. They're numbered 1 through, I believe, 16. Or is it all 18? Maybe. But this one was you're manipulating cards, sort of like, what was that fishing game by Scott Alms? It was it might have been just called fishing. But you're using the cards, the actions on one side, to manipulate the line of cards that are seen as postcards. Great theme. Road Trip. You have these different locations. You're trying to get them in order. And as you can see here, the actions allow you to manipulate cards like, take this card, put it at the end of the line. Take this card, swap it with an adjacent one. Excellent, excellent games. I feel like this one and Hermit are very, they should totally be like Button Shy games. But Amelie's published them under Zorua Games. If you can, folks, track them down. They're worth it. They're so good. We got B Mordu says, yeah, LFGCon was great. Yeah, I loved it. I'm so glad. Did we get to hang out there? I don't know if we met up. Nikita says, such a nice game. Yeah, B Travis Fishing Lessons. Thank you. That was the game from Scott Alms I was trying to reference. But Road Trip and Hermit, they could easily be 14A, 14 or 13A, 13B. I love them both. I literally just played Road Trip last night and I won. Yay! But there are also advanced variants that can make it tougher. I'm still sticking with the standard for those games. But yeah, number 14 and 13, Hermit and Road Trip from Zorua Games. Outstanding solo games, and thanks to Amelie for creating such great games. All right, we're at number 12. We got our dozen left, folks. Let's move on to number 12. This is a solo game video that I did recently, and wow, the components of this game are so good. Number 12 is River Valley Glassworks from Allplay, who sent me over a copy of the deluxe game that, as you can see here, River Valley Glassworks, you are collecting glass from the river and adding them to your glassworks store. The cute critters are abundant in this game. This is a cozy tile drafting game. The tiles are like little glass, different object shapes, and you're placing them. You draw from the river, place them in your little shop, and as the shops extend left to right, you're going to score points, but you're going to also score points up up and down on your tableau here, or your player board. And the more you have the same, the more you have that are different, really help you score the most points. But then there are also ways to manipulate the line of, for as far as resources come in, because once you take a resource and put it on the board, they're locked in there. You can't change them out. And each resource has different they're different in as far as how many numbers there are. So I think the white and the purple may be the most common, the orange may be, or the green may be a little more rare. So of course the rare ones, you want them on your board at specific points, because as you build left and right, you'll get points if you can fill it up all the way to the right. But then up and down, or vertically, you're going to score more points if they're on the right side. Okay, so you want the ones that are more on the right. Again, it's interesting, because as the pieces come out to the board, or to the main supply there, the river, they may not be the ones you want. So you take one from your pan, you match the shape, and from that shape you're going to take from one of the adjacent ones. Really cool way to do it. The components are outstanding. You have this play mat here at the top. You have the nice just, they're not chunky like Azul, but they do sort of have a similar feel to it. One thing I should note, let me show you real quick. I don't know if you can see on some of the tiles, I had to place little little letters to indicate what color they are. Definitely not the most colorblind friendly game, but I made it happen. And if you have issues with that, just as something to note. But terrific game. It's our number 12 of the month, River Valley Glassworks. Okay, number 11. Friends, did you know I like baseball? No? I love baseball, especially the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I'm excited because I have a couple of baseball games on today's monthly recap. The first one is number 11, Hits and Outs. This was an instant hit with me. Super simple game. It focuses the battle, the game of baseball, into the battle between hitter and pitcher. And Goblin says, "You like baseball?" I do. Michelle and I played this. Shout out to Ron and also Inton Games for sending me over a copy, which is unfortunately only available in Japan right now. But I'm hoping it'll come over at some point, because this is a terrific game of bluffing. All you do is place a baseball token underneath one of those base tokens there, and your opponent tries to guess where you place it. So yeah, Kim, I've never mentioned I like baseball, right? Go Dodgers, 2024 World Champions. And then I'm trying to guess here. Michelle's hidden the ball, and I just found it at the first baseline. Or first base. So I put it's a single. I put one of my batters there, and Michelle, she does it again. So as you saw there, if you find an X, it's an out, and you do not reset. If you find the ball, you get a single, double, or triple, or a home run, depending on where it is, and then your opponent resets. So you can't always just find it. So there, I got 3 outs, unfortunately, before I could move my base runner. I score it there on the dry erase board, which is the scoreboard, and also the shield, so you can't, your opponent can't know where you're going to place the baseball. You play 3 innings, most runs scored. It's just a bluffing game. It's super simple, yet it captures the thrill of trying to outsmart your opponent. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's nothing deep. It's nothing. It's not the most accurate baseball simulation, but I don't care. I love it. Michelle and I actually played this at Dodger Stadium one time. Our first time playing it was at Dodger Stadium. I brought the game, so it's easily portable. I love it. You would love it too if you're a baseball fan, but if you're not, it's a quick, a little filler game that's all about bluffing. If you like bluffing, all right. Number 11, Hits and Outs. Number 10. It's another baseball game, friends. I love this. I love that we're getting more baseball games. I don't know if it's just me that's seen them, but Bat Flip Dynasty is my number 10. And this one is a terrific little card manipulation and or dice manipulation game where you are building a team, and you're going to play throughout multiple seasons, including the playoffs, and trying to win the most games, including the World Series or whatever it's called in this game, using dice and cards. The cards give you different abilities, sort of like it's got that feel of, oh, what is that game? Fantastic Factories, where you have different cards that you're going to place the dice on. Some want similar numbers, some want different, some want a specific number, etc. And using that, you're going to earn money to get better players, right? You're going to get the free agents for the free agent draft. And you add those to your team, and your team evolves during the season. Now, season doesn't take long at all. It's basically, just one game of it. And then the entire game, the entire season, including the playoffs, is like 45 minutes. So, and I think it's a two-player game, but I play it solo. And you can check out my video that's going to come out real soon. I was hoping to have it done by now, but I haven't. I might have done, did I do it on live stream? Shoot, I forget. Maybe I did do it on live stream. Anyways, it's fun. It's Bat Flip Dynasty. Probably more along the lines, I think if you're a baseball fan, you'll appreciate it more. But I do like the dice manipulation and the card drafting, tableau building in that game as well. All right, got a few more games to talk about. Number 9, this is, for me, the surprise of the month, if not surprise of the year. Most surprise of all time? I don't know. It's surprised me that I like number 9 this much. It is, wait for it, Blood on the Clock Tower. Me liking a social deduction game? What? I did though. Blood on the Clock Tower. This is Becca's video for a Good Time Society. She did a series, funded a series, and you may see someone you know on that series. This is the video that they did before the Kickstarter. A lot of great people played and in the series, and Becca was just like a hype video. Maybe I should show something a little more gameplay, but Blood on the Clock Tower, folks, social deduction game, and it's got a lot of board game elements to it, and the storyteller plays a big part of it. It's a terrific game. Surprising. It's so funny to me that I like this as much as I did, and I do want to say it probably had to do a lot with the cast that was there. I played a big game, and the storyteller was amazing, and that really helped with the experience. So maybe that, for a social deduction game based on like Werewolf or Mafia, but with so much more going on, maybe that was part of it too. I want to remember that the experience I had was so good, and it had to do a lot with the storyteller. So if you're going to play Blood on the Clock Tower, which I think it's one of those games you really should try it at least once as a gamer, make sure or see if you can get a great storyteller, because someone that's really invested in the game, and yeah, it's terrific, and it definitely lived up to the hype for me. That is my number 9 of the month, Blood on the Clock Tower. And I'm still tripping. I can't believe I talked about a social deduction game this high up on my list. But that's how good it was. All right, let's go back to something a little more traditional in my sense. The type of game I love. I love card games. And I love number 8, the Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game. Wow, oh wow. Here we are playing on Good Time Society, Good Morning Society, and the 100K giveaway. I played with Matt, Becca, and Jake, our 4-player game. This is like The Crew. If you played The Crew, this is a cooperative trick-taking game, but it's set in the Lord of the Rings world. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant mix of theme and mechanism. Yes, Goblin, heard this is good. It lived up to all the hype and beyond. I played last year or the year before a prototype of this with a few people at Dice Tower West. That's where it was, and it was great. I was like, this is gonna be a big hit, and sure enough, it's been a big hit. If you like Fellowship of the Ring or Lord of the Rings, definitely get into it. If you like trick-taking games, definitely get into it. If you like neither, I still say try it, because it's the clever mechanisms. If you played The Crew, if you didn't like The Crew, then you probably won't like this. But it's another game that I feel like, I might have said this about a few, but give it a shot. I feel like this is a game that you really need to try, because it's just that perfect blend of mechanism and theme. Now, even if you're not into Lord of the Rings, which I'm not actually, just the way you'll see the characters and the way they actually work together, and in the game itself, I just thought it was outstanding. Okay, we're talking about theme and game, right now. For number 7, I love this theme. This is number 7, Match of the Century. This game is based on the Match of the Century, which was another name for the match between Boris Spassky, the reigning chess champion, world champion, and Bobby Fischer, the how do we say, the mysterious, enigmatic champion from the U.S. This was in 1970 or 1972. This is based on that game of chess. Now, as you can see, we're not actually playing chess. What we're doing is playing the matches that Spassky and Fisher played using this really neat area control mechanism where you're trying to control each of the little spots here. You play a card and you're battling over that spot. So the number 2 spot here, where the opponent and I'm just doing a solo run through here, or solo teach and play. It's a 2-player game, and you're trying to get the higher number. And if you do that, you're going to take the influence there of that. So I would get 2 influence there. And on the right side of the track, those are going to move. I forget what it's called. It's not called influence. But in the match, you go back and forth, and then eventually someone wins a match, and you're going to move 1 spot closer. It's a race to 7 wins. And it's so neat. I love this. I love the theme. And I love how I feel like I'm playing chess without actually playing chess, right? Because it's more of a multi-use card. You will play the white pieces on one turn, and then when you switch games, like it's the next game within the game, you flip the card over to the black pieces. And each one has a different mechanism, and you're just trying to, you get the little pawn pieces to add to your numbers. It's so good, folks. I was really thrilled by this because it's part of the Capstone series of 2-player games. The other one I absolutely love is Watergate. This plays completely different than Watergate, but it has a similar feel. It is really steeped in the theme. Like, the theme is just present throughout the game. I love it. It really does feel like you've stepped back in time and you are playing chess against either as Spassky or as Bobby Fischer. Okay. All right, let's move on to number 6. This is a game that, oh boy, I knew I was going to love this game because it's by Reiner Knizia, my favorite designer. This is a newer one from him. I believe it might have been was it a re-implementation? I don't know. But what it is a game called Iliad. This is from, not Capstone, Bitewing Games. And here, shout out to Thinker Themer, Amy and Maggie, for putting together this video. Let me fast forward to some of the shots of the board. Where are you at? It's an abstract game, folks. And what you're doing is placing your pieces down here and trying to get the most in each column or row. And then when you do, you're going to add those to your score track. But what's neat is, I want to pause on this here. Let me go back here. Sorry, Amy and Maggie. I'm going to pause you right there. As you can see, all the tiles here around the board, those differ from game to game. So it's a completely different setup. And as you can see here, the more you have in one row or column, once it's filled up, you're going to score that. So you don't want the -10, of course, right here on this side. You want the 3. The player who has the most will choose which side they score. Do you want the 3 or the -10? I'm taking the 3, obviously. But once that filled up, you're going to go to the next one. And there are these bonus ones that you can get as well. It's an abstract game that was way more strategic than I thought. Not quite as like brain burning as like chess or something, right? Because these rules you don't need to learn over a lifetime. You learn it just like any other Knizia within a few minutes. So highly recommend this one. A shout out to my buddy Daryl for showing me this. I loved it. I think it's man, is it one of the better Knizias I've played in a while? I don't know. We play. There's so many, right? How can you say it's the best Knizia? But for as far as a new one that I haven't played before, it was terrific, folks. Yeah, I did really enjoy this one. So that is numbers 28 through 6, and we're gonna continue this list with Dungeons and Dimples. We're going to do a top 10. So my top 10, or our collective top 10, will include my top 5 for this list. So through the magic of editing, we're going to show you the rest of the best board games of the month for June 2025. Take it away. Okay, friends, that's it. I've done it. We've talked about all the great games that we played. I don't know why this thing was way up here. It was lower earlier. I don't know what happened. But thank you for watching. I'm going to edit this down, and we'll have the video out hopefully either tomorrow or the next day. And normally I do something where I talk about the games that you played. My voice is going. It's really tough right now. I've been talking straight for 2 hours. unfortunately, I don't have the energy or the voice to do it anymore. I'm sorry about that. But join the Discord, folks. We can talk about all the great games there. And I don't need my voice to do that. I just need my typing fingers. And shout out to BGG for hosting. Friends, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Time Lord, I just saw you. I'm sorry about that. Good to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well. And friends, we're gonna go raid someone. Let me get this here, and then I'm gonna do the editing thing. We're gonna raid another channel. Thank you, B Travis. Thank you all hanging out. This is great. Again, I want to have Dungeons and Dimples back. Hopefully she'll come back real soon. And right now we're gonna go raid Bonds. Bonds is doing a mid-morning stream, so I'm gonna send you over to Bonds, folks, and say hi to Bonds for me. Thank you again for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, I stream tomorrow for Critical Hit Games. On Wednesday, I'm at the studio for Good Morning Society. And then Thursday, I've got the day off because I've got things to do. But have a wonderful week. Play some games. Thank you, Dungeons and Dimples, for joining me. Thank you, Kimma, B. Travis. All y'all, if I forget, I'm sorry. I need to go and eat some lunch and refresh because my voice is going. Stick around for the raid to Bonds and have a wonderful week, everybody. All right? We're raiding Bonds right now. Stick around. Bye.